Well, hello, Mavericks. This is Rob Reinhold. It is April 20th. We are one day off of monthly options expiration tomorrow, so let's jump into what happened today and we'll talk about tomorrow. So today was basically a down day. At one point, we had rallied all the way up to unchanged. We gapped down in the morning, rallied up, and then really settled down off of the highs. The big news we had was earnings. Tesla and AT&T and some other companies disappointed. Those stocks were down big. Tesla 9%, AT&T like 10%. We also got the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, much weaker than expected. And this was a little bit of a surprise because we got another regional manufacturing number on Tuesday that was really strong and looked really good. And everyone thought, oh, maybe the manufacturing sector has turned. It absolutely hasn't. The market did not like that. So as you can see here, the numbers, the Dow dropped 1/3%, S&P down 0.6%, NASDAQ down a little worse, Russell down 0.5%, oil took it on the chin, and gold had an up day. Overall, again, this day, I want to really focus on the internals here. So we had 64% of stocks that went down. Right now, we've got just over half of the stocks below their 50-day moving average. We take a look at the charts. I want to take a look at these pullbacks that we have been getting. Now, we have been calling for a pullback. We reached this resistance up here at the 415, 416 area. We said, hey, there's going to likely be a pullback or a base here. Take a look at the pullback that we've had. We've had 2 days where we gapped down and then closed higher than we opened. What that means is there was more people buying than selling during the hours the market is open. It's telling us there's still buyers out there, but we are tired. We spent a lot of energy going from 380 all the way up to 415 on the SPY. We got to pull back. We got to take a little break, but these candles are showing us that the buyers are waiting. We come over here to the Qs. We have the same thing. We have a high base. These have just cooled off a little bit, but again, the last 2 days have been down days, but they've been green days. They've been up candles. So that's really telling us the buyers are still there, but the market is tired. Let's take a look at the heat map. As you can see, there's a lot of intense red, but everything else is kind of salt and peppered between red and green. Yes, Tesla got crushed. Yes, AT&T and the whole telecom services sector took it on the chin. We had big moves down in NVIDIA and in Cisco, but outside of that, you can see it was a really mild day overall. So let's take a look at where we are here and update our scoring system if we need to. We actually don't need to do any updating. This week we said, look, we are at a +2 for the month. Our monthly outlook is that we are moderately bullish. We said that this week was likely going to be a week where we didn't go anywhere, where we maybe even pull back a little bit. As of Thursday, the market is down 0.1% on the SPX, and the Qs are down about 0.7%. So this technically at this point is a little bit of a down week, but we called it. We said, hey, look, we need to cool off a little bit. We don't have the energy to break out and run at this point. So there is no need at all to update our outlook at this point. Everything is the same. We are in a moderately bullish market, but the market is tired. It's going to take a little bit of a pause. Let's take a look at a couple potential trades. The overall market doesn't look like it's clearly in a direction, but boy, do we have some great trades and great trends moving in sectors and industry groups and individual stocks. I see great setups on the long side and the bearish side. Now this is WPM, Wheaton Precious Metals. This is a trade I took directly from our Wednesday live session with our trader, where we have our traders share trades with all the other traders here. And you can see this is a bull pullback. We hit this new swing high up here at 52, we've pulled back right to the 20-day moving average. Now look, I would love to have seen today's candle close at its high. That would have been a better candle, but this is still an up candle. This is an up candle, an up close. This is a confirmation candle. This is a stock that is in the right area of the market right now. Precious metals have been doing really well, and that sector is holding up much better than the rest of the market in this pullback. So in this one, I like the trade. I'm not really optimistic about a target past 52. For me, that is my target. But look, that's a nice move. That's a $2.50 move on a $50 stock. That's a 5% move. I'll take that all day, but the 49.51 bull call spread, That to me makes a lot of sense here on this one. WPM, and this comes directly from the midweek trading room as well. Another trader yesterday said, hey, you know what? Take a look at Take Two. Take Two is looking great. Someone forgot to tell Take Two that there is some bearishness in the market. It doesn't care. It hasn't cared for a long time. We're simply running up, basing, breaking out, sending triangles. So we broke out here. And look, we can't even get a decent pullback in here. This thing is so strong. I think you buy it here. I think you enter it here. 130 is a target, at 125, 130. Now look, you've got to give this thing enough time. At any time, we can have pullbacks. This thing could pull all the way back to the 20-day moving average. You need to give this trade enough time. So I like going out to at least the May monthly options, if not further. Give yourself 3, 4, 5 weeks of time for this thing to run to 130. Because look, at any time we can get some volatility. Make sure that you can sit through that volatility because this thing overall looks like it wants to work higher. As far as the sideways trades go, I'm going to go with TDOC, TDOC. This is what we love to see on sideways stuff. Moving averages flip-flopping and simply flattening out to where there's really no trend. We did just get a little bit of news. It popped up. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a bullish tilt. It's at 27.50 right now. I'm looking at a 28 or maybe even a 29 based on where this thing opens up tomorrow morning. If this thing opens up about where it is, I'm going to go with the 28. If it gaps up a little bit, I'll roll up to the 29. But basically, I think the stock is going to be in this range here in the next week or two. So I want to set up a butterfly. So you could take a look at like a 25, 28, 31 butterfly. That's going to give you that profit area that we're looking for. This thing doesn't look like it really wants to take off and go anywhere. That is TDOC TDOC. And another trade from one of our traders. This is Macy's. This thing looks terrible. Runs down, bounces, runs down, big bounce, runs down, really terrible bounce. As you can see here, we're not getting any sort of bounces. This candle today, really nasty here. Short term, you have to see that there is some support right below 17. If you're going to be short term on this, I say you do a 17-18 bear call spread. If you're willing to go out and give it some time because we might find some support here at 17 for a little bit before we break lower, you've got to go out to probably the May monthlies and go to the 16-18 bear call spread. That's going to give you a little bit more profit potential and a little bit more time. So let's talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is monthly options expiration. We do see some volatility on these Fridays, so I would not be surprised. I could totally understand someone saying, hey, I'm not going to take any new positions tomorrow. I'm going to come in on Monday. That's totally fine because the pullback is not technically over. Now, I mean that meaning technically on the charts, we do not have a reversal and a confirmation candle yet. Could we get that tomorrow? Sure. But until then, I'm very happy sitting where I am in my portfolio, mildly bullish with a lot of theta at this moment, letting it all bleed off. If we get that confirmation, I will then go ahead and enter more bullish trades and really increase my bullish delta. But until then, very happy just to let this pullback just keep doing its thing. No real economic reports tomorrow, and take a look at the earnings. Nothing of real importance. Pretty much quiet for the rest of the week. Next week, we've got fireworks when it comes to earnings with lots and lots of stocks. But that is the market roundup. Thank you so much for joining me.